As many may know, this year is the 30th anniversary of our favorite hedgehog, Sonic. We already expected an announcement from Sega, but I believe that nobody imagined that the game announced would be Sonic Colors Ultimate, a remake of the old hit Sonic Colors. This new remake appears to have wonderful graphics and will be released for PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The announcement was so big that it stirred the entire gamer community, but what many can be thinking right now is if this remake will be as good as the original. To define that, we're going to go back and see the history of Sonic games. Are you curious to see how this game will be? Keep watching to find out. How the games used to be. On June 23, 1991, the first Sonic game came out produced by Sega to compete against the already big Mario franchise that had its first game released in 1985. When released, Sonic the Hedgehog was a huge success, with many kids running to stores to buy the title in the console that had come out 3 years earlier, Sega Genesis. Until now, the game is a huge success, having sold more than 23 million copies, being considered one of the top 5 best Sonic games, and for some, the best one. Sonic the Hedgehog is a platform game in which you play with Sonic and Tails to try to defeat the villain, Dr. Eggman, having to go through many challenges on their way. The franchise led to many characteristic mechanics for the time and had much better graphics compared to other titles of the same decade. After the initial skyrocket of the first game, Sega launched 2 more titles that exploded, being Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. However, the era of video games was in the middle of a drastic change, where most of the games were approaching 3D, making it difficult for the Sonic franchise to continue with the same 2D style. In the attempt of making a good 3D game, Sega created a lot of experiments like a pre-rendered isometric world, limited polygon racecourse, and even a miniature world to explore. But only in 1999, Sega released the game that everyone was waiting for, Sonic Adventure. With the new console, the Dreamcast, Sega had finally made a game that broke new ground in many ways. The graphics far ahead for the time combined with more than 6 different characters, each with their only storyline and explorable hub world with numerous side activities made it blow, and no other game or platform could compete with it. But his direct sequel, Sonic Adventure 2, didn't even come close to the glory of the first one. The developers rushed it making with a lot of camera issues and glitches compared with the original, but that wouldn't destroy the series and the fans waited and hoped that the next game that Sega produced would be better, unfortunately not going as planned. Firstly, Sega stopped producing consoles and Dreamcast ended up dying. Because of that, the company didn't have a system of its own, and the development team would have a lot of difficulties continuing. Despite those problems, Sega produced a game anyway, Sonic Heroes. The concept was solid, an outdated stage-based Sonic game, but in 3D. A huge problem appeared when Sony tried to interfere. At first, Sonic Heroes was made to be released only to GameCube and Xbox. However, Sony said that if the game wasn't released to PS2, no other game produced by then would be on a Sony console ever again. Since the PS2 was the dominant console of the time, being prevented from realizing titles on it could end the company. Nevertheless, Sega had difficulties when programming on PS2, as we saw with some games released before this one. But now, Sega needed to take Sonic Heroes, which was almost finished, and change their engine for one that could be ported to all consoles. Because of that, they couldn't polish it as needed and were forced to delay it, and even with the delay, didn't turn out as planned. The downfall of Sonic games. The fanbase was starting to shatter, with fans questioning many designs and concepts that we were fine with a few years ago. All of that became even worse thanks to a promotional photo for the game, Shadow the Hedgehog. However, Sonic fans gave one more chance, but sadly Sega took their trust and fractured it by releasing the game, Sonic the Hedgehog, for Xbox 360 and PS3. Because it was being released to a new platform, fans expected a revival of the franchise, which wasn't like that. This game is undeniably one of the worst Sonic game ever released by Sega, with numerous bugs and enormous load times, and the reason besides that was that they rushed it again. Apparently, they didn't learn from the first time. Sonic 06 shocks the developers and industry of the games so badly that almost anyone rushed their games to Christmas again. This time, Sega couldn't resolve this problem. The fanbase was more shattered than ever, and even though they released some decent games for some years, the fans were destroying them with massive reviews telling how that game was not perfect. It was only in 2010 and 2011 with the release of Sonic Generations and Sonic Colors that the fans calmed a little and enjoyed some games, but not for a long time. In 2014, Sega broke a record of selling with a game memorable for everyone but wasn't a record for having the most amount, but yes for the one with the minimum. This game was Sonic Boom, Shattered Crystal, and even today I wish that Sega hadn't released this game. This year Sega destroyed all the hope that fans still have in them. The comeback of Sonic. Although what happens, they couldn't just throw one of their most popular and lucrative franchises in the trash. Yes, you heard me right, popular and lucrative, and yes, that's strange to hear after all I said about the fans beginning to hate it, but a lot of kids were still buying the game. And fans believe that the reason behind that is because kids don't have a good taste for games, but the reality is that Sonic games are one of the best kids games out there. So in a shot of redemption, Sega developed a game for their 25th anniversary, 7 years after the last playable game that they released. Sonic Mania was a blast, bringing back the 2D platform game that every fan wanted. The game passes the sales of many of its predecessors, is considered one of the best games that Sega has ever released. So, after looking at the whole history of Sonic games, what can we expect? Before making a decision, let's just talk a little more about the official game, Sonic Colors. In Sonic Colors, you follow Sonic's quest to stop Dr. Eggman from enslaving an alien race and taking over the world. The gameplay is similar to previous games, with a side-scrolling perspective that occasionally switches to third person. The game takes place in an interstellar amusement park created by Dr. Eggman, being one of the best-looking games for Wii in the era, with vivid colors, detailed backgrounds, and wonderful animation. Not only that, but Sonic Colors have one of the best music of the series. The cast of characters has greatly reduced, compared to previous games, refocusing attention on Sonic and Tails. Thing impressive about this game was the evolution of the gameplay. Sonic Colors established better physics and more precise controls, changing as well the way that you play. Instead of pressing forward and homing attacks, you have a greater variety of ways to play, which gets even better with the detailed level designs, which fit even perfectly with the new Sonic powers, the Wisps. Each color of Wisp grants Sonic a different power for a limited time. The yellow one gives Sonic the ability to drill through the ground, while Cyan turns Sonic into a laser that bounces off surfaces. There are 8 Wisps that you get along the game, and the better is that you can go back to earlier levels and use Wisps that you didn't have at the time, making entire new paths and ways to play. What can we expect from this new release? Could Sonic Colors Ultimate be the new Sonic Mania, passing the sales of their previous games and being as successful as them? Just the time can tell us, but I believe it can be a success since the original Sonic Colors was a pretty good game, and because will be a remake, the already great mechanics will be the same, if not improved. All the developers should do is fix the flaws pointed out by the community and reviews of the first game, and this one will be sensational. We will probably be seeing more about Sonic Colors Ultimate in the next months, with new trailers and gameplays being released, so if you want to know the future news about that, don't forget to subscribe. If you like the video, please like it, and don't forget to comment down below if you have some other video ideas.